Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are taking a really strategic look at something called the $100 money model.
Right?
It's this system, and it's not just about, making more money. It's really designed to solve that huge, almost existential problem for scaling businesses.
Running out of cash.
Exactly. Running out of cash before you actually get big enough to survive.
Yeah, and that's the crucial point here. We're not talking about like maybe being profitable in a couple of years. This is about a specific mechanism, a system designed so that your cost to get a customer, your CAC, stops being this drain almost straight away.
Okay.
And it all comes from, well, quite a dramatic story. The author, he went from literally sleeping on the floor in his gym
Wow.
to having reportedly a $100 million net worth by the time he was 31.
That's an incredible turnaround. And the key insight behind it all was actually pretty simple.
Deceptively simple, yeah. It boils down to this. Can you make more money from your customers than it costs you to get them in the first place? And this is critical. Can you do it fast?
Right. The speed.
Yeah.
Compress that whole cycle.
That's the absolute core of the money model. It's a specific sequence of offers. They're like carefully engineered to get the maximum profit you can within, say, the first 30 days of getting that new customer.
30 days.
30 days. Because if you can nail that, you basically fund your own advertising. You don't need to rely so much on debt or constantly be fundraising. You can just grow fast. Self-sustained growth.
Okay, so let's get into why this is so essential, avoiding that cash starvation point. There's a story about when the author was really struggling, right? With his first gyms, down to his last few bucks, met a guy at a diner.
Yeah, a storage unit owner who was apparently doing really well. And this encounter was like the big aha moment.
The bold moment.
Totally. He asked the owner, how much does giving away a free month of storage actually cost the customer? And the guy's staff member, apparently without even blinking, said,
$127, sir.
Exactly, $127.
And just to be clear, that wasn't some hidden fee, right? The first month's rent was actually zero.
No, it was genuinely zero rent. But the $127 came from this sequence of other things they offered. Solutions to problems the customers suddenly realized they had because they were getting storage.
Okay, so break that down. Where did the $127 come from?
Well, first, you needed a lock. A specific heavy-duty one for security insurance reasons. That was $47.
Right, makes sense.
Then, okay, you need boxes, tape, markers, right, to actually store your stuff. So upsell number 2.
The necessities.
Then they had deals like affiliate kickbacks if you used certain moving services they recommended. And this was clever. They offered extra insurance coverage, but you could only get it if you used their specific $47 lock.
Ah, locking you in, literally.
Kind of, yeah. And that insurance bump was another $10 a month. Then finally, the staff were trained to suggest a slightly bigger unit. You know the line.
Everyone always has more stuff than they think.
That's the one. So you see how it adds up. Each step solves an immediate need that pops up after the initial free offer.
So the customer leaves feeling good they got a free month, but they also happily paid $127 for things they genuinely needed, or at least were convinced they needed, right then and there.
That's the sequence in action. It's meeting those subsequent needs. And, if you contrast that with a business that doesn't have this kind of model.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Well, it looks like bleeding cash every time you get a new customer. You spend money on ads, get someone in, but you don't make that money back quickly. So what happens?
You have to cut back on advertising.
Right, or take on debt. You're basically floating the business, waiting maybe months, maybe years, for that customer's lifetime value to finally pay back what it costs to get them.
And that slow cash flow just strangles the business.
It starves it, yeah. So the choice becomes pretty stark.
Option 1, wait ages to get paid back, maybe run out of money before you get there.
And risk failing, yeah.
Or option 2, build one of these money models, get paid fast, fuel your own growth.
It has to be option 2 if you want to scale rapidly. And the source really hammers this point about the compounding effect. Like, if you manage to double the value from each customer and double the number of customers you get, and double the speed you get paid, you don't just grow twice as fast or 4 times. It's 8 times faster growth.
Wow, 8x, because everything multiplies.
Exactly. And the money model is the structure that lets you achieve that kind of acceleration, that compression of the whole cycle.
Okay, that storage unit example is powerful. But let's think about something maybe even more familiar, the rental car counter.
Oh, yeah. Perfect example.
You go in, you've booked the $19 a day special online, right? But you walk out, keys in hand, somehow having agreed to pay, what, closer to $100 a day? And you don't even feel ripped off, necessarily.
Right, because they're masters of the sequence. The agent isn't just renting you a car, they're selling you, well, peace of mind, convenience. They solve problems you didn't even realize you had until you were standing there.
So what's the sequence there, usually?
It often starts with the vehicle upgrade, right? Need a bit more room.
Right.
Or maybe something a bit more comfortable for the drive.
Addresses comfort or space.
Okay.
Then maybe the late return option, or dropping it off early. That tackles scheduling worries.
Takes away that stress.
Then the big one, premium insurance. Just sign here, fully covered, no worries. Removes the risk factor. And if you hesitate on that, they might have a minimum insurance downsell, something cheaper, just to get some insurance revenue.
Catches the budget-conscious ones.
And then often right at the end, the prepaid gas.
Yes, the prepaid gas. You know you're paying a bit more per gallon than at the station down the road.
But you pay it.
You do, because you're thinking, ugh, I don't want the hassle of finding a gas station near the airport, potentially being late for my flight. You're buying convenience, not just fuel.
Exactly. They've anticipated every little friction point, every potential worry, and they've put an offer against it, a solution you're happy to pay for in that moment. So this idea of sequencing, it seems to be built on some core types of offers that work across different businesses.
That's right. The sources identify 4 sort of universal building blocks for these models.
Okay, let's lay them out. What are they?
Okay, first you have attraction offers. Their job is just to turn strangers into leads, get them in the door.
Get eyeballs, turn them into potential customers. Got it.
Second, upsell offers. These are designed to get people to spend more cash right there, right then. Maximize that immediate transaction value.
Increase the average order value.
A third, downsell offers. These are crucial. They're there to catch the people who initially say no to an upsell. Give them another way to say yes.
So you don't lose them completely.
Exactly. And fourth, continuity offers. This is about turning that one-time buyer into someone who pays you regularly. Recurring revenue.
Okay, attraction, upsell, downsell, continuity. Those are the 4 pillars. Let's maybe dig into attraction offers first. Turning those eyeballs into actual cash, or at least leads.
Yeah. Gotta start there. No leads, no business, right? So attraction offers, they usually work by offering something really appealing up front, a big discount, maybe something free. The main goal is just lead generation, ideally while covering your ad spend.
Making the acquisition cost 0 or close to it.
That's the ideal, yeah.
There's an interesting example in the source. The win your money back offer came from the gym world.
Right. Picture this. A potential client is hesitant about dropping, say, $500 on a fitness program.
Okay.
The gym owner says, look, pay the $500. If you hit your 8-week fitness goal, follow the plan, show up, you get a full refund, all $500 back.
That sounds risky for the gym. What if everyone hits their goal?
You'd think so. But here's the fascinating part. In the original story, the client did hit the goal. They were offered the $500 back.
And they took it.
Nope. They felt so good, so invested, they used that $500 as credit toward an even more expensive ongoing training package.
So it turned into an upsell.
Exactly. And not only that, this super motivated client apparently generated something like 13 referrals for the gym.
Wow. Okay, so how does that work psychologically?
It's like risk reversal, but the customer is betting on themselves. They're motivated to follow through because their own money is on the line, kind of. And the data, apparently from loads of gyms using this, shows that only about 10% of people actually qualify for and take the cash refund.
Only 10%. That's surprisingly low.
Yeah. So the gym gets the cash up front. They get highly committed clients who feel amazing when they win. They get tons of referrals. And they only give back a small fraction of that initial revenue. It's quite clever.
Very clever. Okay, so that's one type of attraction offer. What about something like a decoy offer? How does that work?
The decoy offer is all about using contrast. Think about a tanning salon advertising a $5 VIP tanning pass. Super cheap, right? Gets people interested.
Yeah, sounds like a great deal. But wait, are they actually trying to sell that $5 pass? Or is it a bait and switch?
It's designed to lead to the real offer. It's not quite bait and switch if done right, because they will sell you the $5 pass. But when you come in, they explain why that pass probably won't get you the result you actually want.
How so?
They'll explain, look, you can't just tan intensely for 5 days straight. You'll likely burn. To get that nice, even tan safely, you need consistent, managed exposure over time. They educate you.
So they show you why the cheap option, the decoy, won't actually solve your underlying goal, getting a good tan without burning.
Exactly. And right then, they present the premium offer side by side, maybe the unlimited monthly membership. Suddenly, that membership looks like the smart, effective way to get what you came for.
Because the cheap option now seems ineffective, maybe even counterproductive.
Precisely. You see the $5 pass next to, say, a $59 monthly unlimited plan. The huge contrast in value and outcome makes that monthly plan seem like the logical choice, the real solution. People often choose the higher-priced option right away. It's like seeing a gym's free trial next to their $399 Ultimate program. The comparison itself can sell the premium package.
Interesting. Okay, so we've attracted the customer, maybe covered our costs. Now we need to make profit fast. That brings us to upsells.
Yes, maximize that initial transaction.
You all know the classic, right? McDonald's. Do you want fries with that? The burger makes pennies, but the fries and drink. That's where the real profit is.
Yeah, that example is legendary. Something like 11 or 12 times the profit comes from the upsells, not the burger itself. It perfectly shows that the first offer, the attraction offer, often isn't the main profit driver. It just gets the customer to the counter.
So the classic upsell, as the source calls it, is about solving the next problem.
Exactly. The very next problem the customer realizes they have the moment they've committed to the first purchase. You buy a bike. What's the immediate next thought?
Safety. Helmet.
Bingo. Helmet. Then maybe lights, if you'll ride at dusk. Then maybe better tires, puncture-resistant ones. The key is offering these immediately while the customer is still in that buying mode, having just solved the primary problem, getting a bite.
Makes sense. Strike while the iron is hot.
Definitely.
The source also mentions some almost psychological tactics here. There was one about get them to say no to say yes. Sounded a bit tricky.
It can be. It relies on careful phrasing. The example was a fur coat dealer who offered free storage for the expensive coat the customer just bought.
Okay, nice perk.
Then immediately offered to store the free earmuffs that came with it too. The customer agrees. Then the dealer asks, kind of casually, "You don't want to store anything else, do you?"
And the natural answer is no.
Right, it's almost a reflex, but then the salesperson rings up a charge for storing the earmuffs, maybe $30, saying, "Okay, just the earmuffs then," pointing back to the fact they agreed to store them. It relies on that quick no applying only to other items, not the earmuffs they just discussed. It's subtle.
Yeah, requires some smooth talking.
Huh.
What about the anchor upsell? That sounded even more direct. The author talked about wanting a $500 suit.
Right, and the salesperson's first move? Show a suit for it.
$16,000.
Yeah, 16 grand.
I mean, isn't that just going to scare the customer off completely?
Right.
Showing something 30 times their budget.
It feels counterintuitive, right? But it's pure price anchoring psychology. That $16,000 suit isn't really meant to be sold. It's the anchor. Its job is to create sticker shock. That moment of, whoa. The source calls it the gasp.
The gasp. Okay.
Once the customer has had that mini heart attack over the $16,000 price, the salesperson then pivots. They rescue the customer by presenting the main offer, maybe a $2,200 suit.
Oh, I see. Because $16,000 is now lodged in their brain.
Exactly. That 16 times K is the anchor. Suddenly, $2,200 doesn't seem outrageous anymore. It feels like a massive relief, a bargain almost.
Compared to 16 grand, yeah.
So the customer happily spends $2,200 way more than their initial $500 budget because the anchor completely reframed their perception of what's reasonable or good value for a quality suit.
That's fascinating. Using an extreme price point to make the real target price seem much more palatable.
It's a powerful technique when used correctly.
Okay, so we've got attraction offers, bringing people in, upsells, maximizing the initial cash. But what happens when people say no to the upsell? A lot of people must say no, even with anchoring.
Oh, absolutely. Even a great conversion rate, maybe 50%, still means half the people didn't take the upsell. And that's where downsells become absolutely essential. They often get overlooked, but they're vital.
Right, because otherwise you've spent money acquiring that lead, and they walk away without buying the higher margin stuff.
Exactly. Downsells are designed to capture some of that potential revenue you'd otherwise lose. They typically work by changing one of two things about the offer the customer just rejected.
Okay, what are the two things?
Either you change the price often by offering a payment plan, breaking it down into smaller chunks.
Makes it seem more affordable.
Right. Or you change the features. You offer a less comprehensive version of the product or service at a lower price point.
Can you give an example of a feature downsell?
Sure. Let's go back to the gym. Someone says no to the $399 Ultimate Personal Training Package. It's just too much money.
Okay.
The immediate downsell could be, okay, I understand. How about our $99 core training package? You still get the workout plan and access to the group sessions, aiming for the same fitness goal, but it doesn't include the one-on-one coaching or the personalized meal plans.
So same basic goal, get fit, but fewer bells and whistles, lower price.
Exactly. They still get the core solution, the main thing they wanted, but at a price they feel they can afford. The gym still makes a sale, gets some profit, rather than nothing.
It feels like a way to make sure that acquisition spending nearly always pays off, at least partly. You catch people at different commitment levels.
That's precisely the role of the downsell. It salvages the sale, and then once you've gone through attraction, upsell, maybe a downsell, you need to think long-term. That brings us to the fourth piece.
Continuity offers.
Yeah.
Keeping them paying.
Yes. Moving from that single transaction to a recurring revenue stream, this is where sustainable profit often lies.
So in the gym example, that's the ongoing monthly membership, right?
Typically, yes. Or maybe supplement subscriptions, ongoing coaching check-ins. For continuity to work, the offer usually needs to involve something consumable or require regular maintenance or solve a problem that keeps coming back. Like razor blades for a razor handle, or replacement filters for a water pitcher you bought, or the monthly subscription for a software service. The key is that the customer sees ongoing value, and continuing to pay feels easier or cheaper than stopping and starting again or finding a whole new solution.
So it's about making continuation the path of least resistance while still providing value.
Pretty much. When you put all four pieces together, attraction, upsell, downsell, continuity, and you sequence them correctly, that's when you get the really powerful money model.
It's not really that any one of these offer types is revolutionary on its own,
No, they've all been around.
but it's the strategic sequencing of all four, working together seamlessly. That's the breakthrough.
That's exactly it. The gym launch example used in the source apparently evolved this way. Started simple, maybe just an attraction offer, then layered on an upsell and a basic continuity offer. Then they perfected the downsell's payment plans, feature-based options to capture almost everyone who showed interest. The real power came from orchestrating all four types.
So the ability to sequence these offers ethically and effectively is what really lets a business generate that fast cash flow and dominate. It changes the whole game.
It shifts the fundamental question from how long until we break even to how quickly can we pour fuel on the fire and scale.
Makes sense.
So maybe the provocative thought for you, the listener, to take away from this deep dive is this. A truly effective money model isn't just about selling stuff. It's about deeply understanding your customer's journey, anticipating their needs, maybe even better than they anticipate them themselves.
Knowing what they need next.
Right. So don't just ask, what problem does my main product solve? Ask yourself, okay, once they have my solution, what new problem does that create for them, even a small one? And what irresistible offer can I present immediately to solve that next problem? That's the kind of thinking that builds these powerful sequences.